you guys, sometimes people don't realize, I know Master Oliver said it earlier, you know, sometimes the story of the kid with the golden spoon, you know, they don't realize what they have because they think everybody has it because they haven't seen the other side of it. And when Grandmaster Reed first came to America, and he started in Texas and then he expanded out to Washington, D.C., I was fortunate enough to be in Texas and feel some of his impact and some of his inspiration. You know, great teachers teach, and they teach well, but the really great masters, the really great teachers inspire. And when they inspire, they change people's lives. And nobody in this country, in the world, has a bigger impact on martial arts in America than Grandmaster Reed. The people that he touched for just a short period of time in Texas expanded all over the country and the world. And they kept expanding. And if you notice, these people are still around today, 40, 50 years later. That's the kind of inspiration and impact he has on people. He didn't just meet some young kid in Texas as a brown belt or a white belt, because he gave me my white belt test. And from that day and the impact that he had, it wasn't that I wanted to be a black belt. I knew then from his inspiration that I wanted to make martial arts a career. But even that, he took that goal and made it higher for me. When I was telling him, I still remember when we were in the car talking, because we traveled and did a lot of demonstrations and had lunch almost every day together. And I told him that I was training and working hard. I wanted to be in the top 10. That's when Black Belt Magazine had their top 10. And he said, top 10? I don't want you to be in the top 10. I want you to be the world champion. Well, back then there wasn't even a world champion. So how could I envision setting that goal? But from that day on, I trained, I changed my whole attitude in training, and build it and they will come. Well, you have to be prepared before they build it. You have to be ready ahead of time. So I was training like I wanted to be a world champion before there was even a world championships, because when I became world champion, I was light heavyweight national. At that time, I was the #1 rated fighter in the country in 73 and 74. Me, Bill Wallace, and Howard Jackson were kind of going back and forth for a couple years there. But at the time, when they had the first world championships, I was the #1 light heavyweight. Bill Wallace was the #1 middleweight. Howard Jackson was the #1 lightweight. And Joe Louis was the #1 heavyweight. So we happened to be at the right place at the right time when they had the first world championships. And to win that and continue on was all based on his inspiration that he gave. And you know what's amazing is all of the guys that I brought from Texas that came through his roots, and I got to come out to Washington, D.C. and run his schools, are still running schools today. Oklahoma, you know, we would go down into all these little satellite schools in North Carolina and Florida and Oklahoma and all different parts of the country. And Grandmaster Reed stayed loyal to those people. And every semester, for years and years, he would go back and do their belt test every semester. And he didn't do it for the money because they weren't paying him anything, just, you know, his expenses to go down and do those tests. And when he couldn't make it, he sent me to go do it. And that's how I met Master Oliver. And we were not easy back then. Grandmaster Reed was hard on people. He failed me on my first black belt test. I failed Master Oliver on his blue belt test. But you know what? That's how. Broken hand even. Yeah, no excuses, sir. I said, no problem. It'll be better by the next test 6 months from now. You'll be ready then. And he was, thank you, sir. So remember, you guys have a unique opportunity. You guys have a unique opportunity to share with Grandmaster Reed his vision.
Grandmaster Reed always passed.
Grandmaster Y.K. Kim's vision. You know, you have these great grandmasters who have a vision, who have a purpose. And, you know, it's not about money. It's not about that. It's about when you say become rich and a billionaire, they're talking philosophically. They're not talking about dollars and cents. Because if you're wealthy here and you're here, then you have your utopia. You have that place of happiness because you enjoy what you do. Grandmaster Ree was doing this long before he made money from it. When he was making money, the money was just to expand. And I was with him then. Every dime he made, he put it back into the school or back into the development of the expansion of his vision. He did not put it in the bank and buy his everything. You know, he wasn't having jewels and fancy houses and vacation properties. He was putting everything back into the expansion of everything. Roy K. Kim, the Grandmaster, doesn't have to go around and do all these seminars. He does it because he wants to inspire you guys, because we know that the great Grandmasters are not going to be around 20, 30, 40 years from now. So we have to carry on that part. I said not all of the great Grandmasters. There will only be a few of them left.
So we got at least another 100 years for you too.
So you guys have to carry forward this, and that is the reason and the purpose you guys were here today.
Thank you.